CarePlanners, your healthcare connection.
Hey everybody, it's Aaron from CarePlanners, and we are here today with another Peek Series video. As you know, we are constantly looking for different businesses and services that help out in the healthcare industry. Today, we're going to spend some time with Mark Raymond, who's a property manager with TMI Realty. He and his wife/boss have come up with a really niche idea that's going to help out families. Let's meet him now. Let's go. Hey Mark, great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thanks for coming out and meeting with me.
Yeah, looking forward to it for a while now. So I am absolutely fascinated by what you guys have come up with. So please tell the people what you do.
Well, as you had mentioned in your intro, we're a property management company, and we manage 160 homes in Southeast Michigan.
Wow.
And we have been doing this basically since 1985, but since 2010 as licensed agents.
Okay.
But we bought our first home in Royal Oak in 1985.
Sure.
But we started renting out our basement and fell into landlording. Well, today I own 6 homes, and I've been managing as a landlord for some time and translated those skills into being a property manager for others, and professionally since 2010.
Okay. So how does this relate to the healthcare business then?
Well, we found a little bit of a niche, as you mentioned, and it's been comparatively recently. As our population is aging, we are seeing more and more people obviously go into an assisted living scenario, and when they do, the typical reaction when they get that price, $6,000 to $10,000 a month if it's memory care,
Right.
they say, oh, the first knee-jerk reaction is, we have to sell my parents' house. And you can do that, but then if you're sitting on this pile of cash and for whatever reason you may lack financial discipline, you spend that down and you may have to come back to your mother or your father and say, hey, we ran out of money and now we have to move you out of this facility into a nursing home or something like that.
Right.
So in a situation like that, it becomes a little bit problematic because by then they've made friends and they've run out of money.
Okay.
So alternative is take the home and turn it into a rental property. Now you hold the asset. You're holding the asset and you are keeping the wealth in your family because the money that's coming from the rental property is offsetting the cost of the assisted living. And you may have to kick in some, you know, the brothers and sisters and whatever. But the point is the wealth is kept and it's for the duration of the stay.
Yeah, and selling the property doesn't necessarily mean a big pile of cash either. It depends on how much people have paid the house down.
Correct.
So
typically these homes are significantly paid down, if not free and clear. So a lot of times that's where the pile of cash comes from, is that equity that's built up. But it may not be there, in which case the rental property situation may be the only situation.
Okay. So now, did this idea come out of the blue, or did you have maybe a family member that was in the healthcare?
So my mother, who passed in July 2021 at 96. She lived a very full life.
Wow.
And I certainly hope I have her genes. She was a caregiver herself. She was a nurse and she worked until she was 85 years old. Now, she had a fall later in life and it became clear that she couldn't live at home. So we moved her into an assisted living facility. And there we met people and saw what goes on. We were schooled in the fine people who serve and cater to people like my mom. And at the same time, we learned about situations where we know personally how much it cost,
Sure.
but we also know, you know, people who had to be moved back out of the facility because they ran out of money. And that was a sad thing to watch.
Yeah, that's terrible. Terrible. Well, this sounds like an amazing service. So what exactly do you guys do? So somebody comes to you and says, okay, mom needs to go into a nursing home or a healthcare facility, whatever it may be. We have this house. What are the steps, or how does it work?
Yeah, so first of all, I would encourage them to check with their real estate attorney or their estate planning attorney, just to make sure from a legal perspective that it would be appropriate for their situation.
Okay.
Additionally, their CPA or financial advisor should be consulted on the financial side, because we're property managers, we're not legal counsel, and we're not credentialed in the financial sector. However, if we get green lighted by those professionals, then this could be a very good thing. And so we would want to go through that interim step of doing that. And then, of course, if everything lines up and we're able to do so, then we would extend a management agreement to them, go through the process of how we financially screen, fair housing compliance screening of residents, and manage what's called the leasehold interest, the lease term.
Yeah, I mean, to the average person like me, the idea of renting out a house seems daunting, but you guys handle all that.
We do. We're a full-service property management company. We cover everything from the applicant process, marketing and showing of the home, and then screening, fair housing compliant financial screening, placing the resident, and then handling all those maintenance calls. Because, you never know when a maintenance call is going to come in. There's an invisible army, you'll have to imagine, behind me of about 350 contractors, all from masonry, flooring, siding, roofs, everything in between. Plumbers, electricians, mechanical, anything that could happen with a home, we are able to respond to that. And most of them are 24/7 for us.
I gotcha. So the family or, the homeowner, they really don't have to do anything after they sign that contract. Everything's handled by you.
I may need to consult with them on a bigger ticket item, like if a furnace goes, they may want to get multiple estimates. So it's not like it's going to be completely no communication. In fact, property management is predicated on excellent communication. So, we'd be in touch with them and on a situation as they develop if they needed to be consulted.
Okay, that makes sense. So obviously, there has to be some money in it for you guys.
Of course.
How does it balance? I mean, you take a percentage of the rent, I would imagine, and I'm not trying to get into specifics here, but is there enough left over, I guess is the question I would ask immediately if you came to me and said, well, how are we paying you and paying the rent?
We collect a percentage of the collected rent.
Okay.
And that percentage will make sense. It's an adjustable percentage so that it's financially appropriate for their given situation. All right. So if we don't collect the rent, there's no money to work with. You don't pay us a management fee,
Sure.
right? So, in a situation where you have a mortgage, insurance, taxes still on the home, if it's a condo, you have an association fee, and then you add the management fee with us, it may not provide that point spread, how much it will collect in rent.
Sure.
There may not be that point spread to be positive cash flow, in which case we would then say it may be appropriate to sell the home. So we're not looking to take a piece necessarily of a real estate agent's, situation where they might sell the home. We're just saying, look at an alternative if it works.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, obviously this is not a money grab for you. This started off as personal for you
It's
guys.
a ministry almost.
Yeah.
It is, with my mom and the whole situation that I described, we're on a mission now to help people because we've seen people get hurt. And when you watch that, you go, hey, we need to do something about that.
Yeah,
So
that's great. So in the intro, I referred to your wife as your boss, as all of us who have been married know. But there's a real situation here, right?
yeah, so she's the broker owner, and under Michigan law, she is what's called the supervising broker. So literally, she is my boss. I even called the state of Michigan and said, do you have to call it supervising? They do.
So does she hold that over your head?
Not much.
No, all right.
Not much.
Fair enough. All right, so now the people get in, everything's going well. Do you ever get pushback from family members on this? Sometimes people want the house sold and they want the money. I mean, you ever have to deal with that kind of stuff?
Yes, but let's be brutally honest. Usually the pushback comes from, oh my gosh, someone's going to trash the house. And we do a fair housing compliant financial screening, as I mentioned, and it's pretty rigorous. Our system goes through and checks to see if the tenant has any evictions nationwide, any criminal actions, felonies nationwide. If they're on the sex offender registry, it checks that. It'll even let us know if they're on this federal terrorist watch list.
Wow.
But that is what we do automatically. And then we call employer references and previous landlord references. So by the time we're done, we're pretty confident that we can hand them the key and that they're financially qualified to be in the home. But you can never evaluate specifically for behavior. There may be a situation that comes up, a loss of a job, a catastrophic medical, or something where all of a sudden there's a rent collection problem. That can happen. We will work with that situation.
So off the top of your head, Do you have a favorite story, or has anything unique or fun happened since you guys have done this, or maybe a heartfelt situation where somebody really...
Well, now it's more on the tenant side than on the owner side,
Okay.
but we have to have cultural sensitivity. And we had a situation where a gentleman moved into a house, and he'd just come to the United States from another country. And he had a little bit of a language barrier, and we overcame that using Google Translate and things of that nature.
Sure.
But there was something that we overlooked. And it was actually in a condominium. And as you know, condominiums can be very high on aesthetics. And we got a letter from the condominium association that said, "Dear Mark, here at XYZ Condominiums, we pride ourselves on a uniform look, and we like things to look nice.
know where
And we
this is
cannot
going."
have bed sheets in windows." I said, "Bed sheets? Those are brand new Venetian blinds put in those windows." Well, I went to the home, and sure enough, not just any bed sheets, Aaron, superhero bed sheets.
Oh, yes.
Ding dong! The door opens. I said, "Hello," and I said, "Can I ask you why there's bed sheets in the windows?" "Oh, the light was shining in so bright I couldn't sleep." I said, "Well, do you mind if I come upstairs?" So I come upstairs, and here we are. The bed sheets are in the windows, and the Venetian blinds are pulled all the way up. And this gentleman, very nice, but he had never seen Venetian blinds in his life, and he didn't understand that you go click and they come down. So it was a very happy day for everybody to learn how Venetian blinds work.
Yeah.
But that's cultural sensitivity, right?
Sure, sure.
And we have to have that. And it's kind of a funny story. The same gentleman called me another day, and I heard the chirp in the back of the recording, and he said there was a beep coming from the ceiling. And I explained to him that it was time to change the batteries, and he said he didn't have a ladder. I said, "That's okay. Here in the United States, we use chairs."
So this just basically tells me that this helps out really everybody. You got people that are looking for housing, you know, you got people that have houses, and it just, you know, it's a beneficial thing all the way around. Yeah, this is great. This is a unique service.
Thank you.
So Mark, you mentioned a condo situation, obviously houses. Is there a range, or, you know, what do you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can support any given situation because we're versatile. We have homes that are in the $800 a month range, like an upper lower flat that you might find. All the way to a $5,000 a month mansion. So we're skilled in a lot of variety of situations.
Basically, you could help anybody out.
Correct.
Love it, love it. Okay, cool. Where are you guys located, office-wise?
Based in Troy.
Okay.
And by the way, our area of service
Yes.
runs, if you know the geography of Southeast Michigan, we'll start at Mount Clemens and come down the St. Clair Shores coast there into Grosse Pointe Harper Woods. We have a few homes in the University of Detroit area, nice, beautiful homes that we manage over there. We go over towards Redford and Novi, and then up to where we are here today in Oxford, beautiful Oxford, and then back to Mount Clemens.
Yes.
So I have 160 homes in that footprint that I manage.
That's a lot. That's a lot of homes.
Hence the gray hair.
Fair enough, fair enough. So what else would you like to tell us about what you guys do?
So when we started TMI Properties, we decided to bring something called a project management approach to property management. And we built this company that if we ran out of power and we're on a deserted island somewhere, we could still run this business by remote control. And so that served us well during the pandemic. Even though the state was shut down, we were still able to provide those mission critical services needed, furnace replacements or furnace fixing, hot water tank situations. We're really proud of our systems approach to property management.
So, okay, so something just hit me. Why would, if you can rent out a house and make this money, and why not just bypass you and rent the house out yourself? What What could possibly go wrong?
Well, you've heard of for sale by owner, right?
Yeah.
And there's some situations with for sale by owner where you're having people come into your home that you may or may not know whether they're financially qualified to even look at your home. You don't know because they haven't been pre-approved by a mortgage professional and that type of thing.
Right.
Well, if for sale by owner is fraught with challenges, for rent by owner could be a disaster.
Yeah.
Because there's no skill sets necessarily to fair housing compliance screening to make sure that you know how to check employer references, landlord references. If the applicant is within 100 miles, I'll actually drive out to see what the conditions are at the home that they're currently living in. So that can, be very helpful. There's a lot of pitfalls that, if you just put an ad on a website and you start screening, you have no real way of knowing. And there are professional tenants, let's say, out there that will actually deliberately look for situations where people are amateurs and take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, that was just a little devil's advocate thing because I've been known to be a troublemaker. So what I really, really love about this and all the things that we do as far as the companies we look for, I love what each company does to just alleviate the stress that goes along with putting a loved one into a home or a community. It's got to be just a really, really hard thing to do, so that anytime that you can, you guys are taking away, what are we going to do with the house? How are we going to get this money? And you guys are really solving problems for people.
We're trying.
Yeah, it's great. I love what you guys are doing, and
Yeah, and people can just reach out to us through our phone number and our website, and it's like a click to call kind of a thing. The conversation begins. We'll key right in on their situation and make sure it works.
Give them the phone number.
248-658-8518, or you can find us on the web at tmirealty.mobi.
Mark, thank you so much for spending this time. I've learned a lot, and I think this is fantastic. I mean, it's commendable. It's admirable what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And I wish you guys the greatest success.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for interviewing me today.
Good luck.
All right.
Thanks. Hey folks, that's going to wrap up another Peek Series video. I love this company and I love their mission, TMI Realty. Look them up. If you would like to schedule your Peek Series video, give us a call at 586-310-3200. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on all social media. See you soon. CarePlanners, your healthcare connection.